Big oil companies, I think they're going to get a little bit concerned here, guys. I think when you see this precedent being set here, you're going to say, well, hang on a minute. Is this going to happen to us everywhere else? I mean, if Vermont begins making these laws to force us to pay for all the damage that we've done to the planet, what's next? Could entire countries do this to big oil? Guys, what happened to cigarette companies? What happened to companies manufacturing asbestos, right? They were sued until a lot of them were out of business. It looks like big oil, the same thing could happen to them. Vermont has become the first US state to pass a law requiring big oil companies to pay for climate damage. Now, guys, I made a video very recently that talked about essentially 87% of all pollution worldwide. 87% of all pollution was being created by a very small number of companies. It's crazy. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. It's great to see you. In a historic move, Vermont has become the first US state to pass a law that makes major fossil fuel companies financially responsible for climate change damages. Now, this law could eventually be amended to say, well, they're also responsible for health damages, which are enormous. Guys, so big. I mean, we're talking cancer, we're talking heart disease, we're talking insane things that have been caused by these big oil companies. And a lot of them have known about it too, by the way. And a lot of their data, their research, they've known about these issues since the 70s. What the Climate Superfund Act does is this: an act relating to climate change cost recovery, or the Climate Superfund Act aims to create a new financial mechanism to cover the costs of climate adaptation and mitigation, ensuring that polluters most responsible for greenhouse gas emissions pay their fair share. So, guys, a lot of people say, oh, we're incentivizing, the Biden administration, they're incentivizing EVs and solar and batteries. It's just a big incentivization. They should also do the same thing for fossil fuels. It's not fair. Crazy stuff, right? The thing is, those technologies are not hurting people. They're not killing people. They're not causing disasters, natural disasters, floods, all kinds of fires, all kinds of stuff, right? I think really, when we look at subsidies, I don't think big oil or fossil fuels should receive any subsidies, but they still do. They receive, in fact, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of subsidies, even now. Governor Phil Scott allowed the Climate Superfund Act to become law without his signature. He explained his reason for not signing to lawmakers. Very strange. He said, I'm deeply concerned about both the short and long-term costs and outcomes. I'm also fearful that if we fail in this legal challenge, it will set a precedent and hamper other states' ability to recover damages caused by big oil companies. However, I understand the desire to seek funding to mitigate the effects of climate change that has hurt our state in so many ways. The Climate Superfund Act enables Vermont to seek financial compensation from oil, gas, and coal companies for damage caused by climate change. That includes repairing infrastructure damaged by extreme weather events, investing in renewable energy, and supporting communities affected by climate-related disasters. This could mean the end for some of these fossil fuel companies. I mean, if other states, if countries get involved in this, we do need oil, guys, for certain things, plastics, etc. We don't need anywhere near as much oil as what people claim we do. But yes, we do need oil, but we certainly don't need to burn it in the way that we are today. The new law's concept is similar to federal Superfund law, which mandates that companies responsible for hazardous waste sites fund their cleanup. Essentially, they're saying, you know what, big oil are causing this, basically these problems. They need to fix the problems that they're causing. Vermont has extended this principle to the broader issue of climate change, marking a big shift in environmental policy and possibly setting a precedent for other states to follow. Here's what a city councillor said: without the Climate Superfund, the costs of climate change fall entirely on taxpayers, and that's not fair. Now there is a law in place to require the corporations that cause the damage to pay too. Now, guys, keep in mind, I mean, some corporations, you might be thinking, oh, we need them, and this, that, and the other. The truth is, most corporations like Google and some bigger companies, they're investing a lot of money into renewables and making sure that they're investing enough that they know their businesses are entirely running on renewable energy. Now, fossil fuel companies, they make billions of dollars every year. They could do the same, but most are not. When state legislature was in session, Dartmouth College scientists, or I'm sure I didn't pronounce that right, guys, so don't say anything in the comments, told lawmakers that it's scientifically possible to determine the extent to which climate change has contributed to the increased frequency and severity of extreme weather events, especially in the case of flooding. They can look back over, a couple of hundred years of actual records to see what's been happening and compare it to now. Vermont was besieged by floods last summer and damages were well over $1 billion. Now, Big Oil are not happy. They're fighting back against it. They believe that they're big enough to basically crush Vermont and their laws. The Climate Superfund Act is expected to face massive legal challenges from these corporations. The American Petroleum Institute, the top lobbying group for Big Oil, has already indicated plans to challenge the laws in court, and this will drag on, I'm sure. API stated in an opposition letter to the Vermont State Senate last week that the law retroactively imposes cost and liability on prior activities that were legal, violates equal protection and due process rights by holding companies responsible for the actions of society at large, and it's preempted by federal law. In other words, federal law will protect us. You can't do anything about it. You know what? Too bad, so sad. That's what they're saying. Now, here's the thing. The implications of this law could be far-reaching. It could have a domino effect, and I, for one, hope it does. You know what? If you're investing, in my opinion, if you're investing, and I've criticized Warren Buffett for this, if you're investing in Big Oil, then you're partly responsible for this situation. I think we all should boycott it in whatever way we can. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching.